Hello everyone, welcome to your BI Star. Today we're going to solve a unique problem in Power BI where we have to develop a visual to display sales by customer segment where a customer can be in different categories. It's a many-to-many relationship problem that we'll be looking into. Here we have this many-to-many relationship between customer segment and revenue dataset. To solve this problem, we'll be looking into three different approach. One is to use many-to-many relationship. Second one is bidirectional filtering. And third one is single directional filtering using DAX. Now we will get the data from Excel. It's a sample data with 4 different data sets. We have CustomerBridge, revenue, and segment. Let's transform those. And seems to be some problem here. Let me just fix it real quick. I'll just click and retry here. Same thing here. Okay, now let's make the top row as our header. Wherever that is missing when reading from Excel, that's common problem. That's good in here, and segment is also having problem. Okay, now we have all these 4 data sets loaded to our Power Query. Let's make sure everything is coming as expected. And now let's load those 4 data sets. Let's wait to load. Okay, now everything is loaded. Let's look at the relationship. Let me zoom in a little more so that you can see it easily. Okay, here Power BI auto-detected the relationship. We didn't want it this way for now. Let's look at our first approach, right? For that, I would be deleting the relationship from CustomerSegmentBridge to revenue and from our segment to CustomerSegmentBridge first, and I'll be applying my manual relationship. Let's delete these two for now. We'll come back to these relationship later on, but just to look at the many-to-many, let's delete this one too. And I'll be doing customer segment to revenue directly based on the customer ID. And Power BI says there are, the relationship cardinality is many-to-many. You should be careful. Yeah, that's true. I normally don't want to use many-to-many relationship, but for this demo, let's look at this. And now from segment to the bridge, we do the segment ID. In that way, you can filter by the segment name instead of ID from the bridge table. Now we have this many-to-many relationship. Let's go to our visualization pane and try to create a matrix visual. In a way, we can just show the total revenue by segment, right? So let's get the, we want the customer segment and sales, right? Let's get the segment here. We have those 3 segments, enterprise, retail, and small Bs. And let's get the amount from the revenue. In that way, we can get the sum of amount in our visual. Okay, there you go. We have enterprise as 980, retail 900, small biz 430, total of $1,300 sales, right? So I want to confirm that in our data source, if this 1,300 is correct or not. Let me open my Excel. Let me go to the revenue fact. Let's do the quick sum here with alt equals 1,300. That's correct. That's what we expect. Now let's come back to Power BI. And the many-to-many is working in this case. Okay, now let's try to do a little more in this visualization and add the revenue type from our revenue. Let's actually add that in row label and expand it. Many-to-many is working as expected in here. For this case, Power BI is pretty powerful. Now, for the second part, to achieve the same result, we will use the bidirectional filtering. Let's remove this custom relationship we built earlier. And now it throws an error for sure because we didn't have the relationship there. Let's do the relationship on CustomerBridge and customer using CustomerID and look at the relationship and the filter criteria. We have single direction filtering from one to many. That's Power BI's default behavior. If you want to learn more about Power BI default filtering behavior, you can do so. But let's look at it here. Again, we have the error coming in. It is asking me to auto detect the relationship. I don't want to do that. In that way, I can show it. Let me just remove this and create a new matrix and do the same thing once more. I want the segment name and the total amount. So if you look at it, right now it is summing up everything and giving me 1300 in every row. We know this is total. This is not right. So if you go to the relationship once more, what it is doing actually is it is not being able to filter the revenue by the segment ID. It's not being able to filter it because Power BI's default behavior is it does not filter from many to one side. If you look at the customer segment bridge to customer, it's many to one. We need to filter from customer segment bridge to customer, and it is not being able to filter customer, and ultimately customer table is not filtering revenue. So we need to change this to the both direction filtering. In that way, many to one will be filtered. So if you go back right there, that's what we expect to see. That's correct, right? Let's undo that and see it. This will give you that error that is not correct, right? So if you add any other things in here, it'll throw error just because it doesn't know how to filter it, because it's one to many relationship, but there is no proper filter definition defined. If you try multiple way, it'll throw error on there because Power BI is confused on how to apply the filtering. So what we will do is we will do the both cross filter direction, and if you come back to the visualization pane, it should be working as expected right there. There you go. Beautiful. And now we want to look at the third way. That's the way I prefer wherever I can. For the simplicity, I'll just use the segment name and sum of amount to show you the third example. And I'll change back the cross direction to single. Obviously, it throws an error. We know if we use the regular sum, but we can write a DAX, custom DAX to apply those filter. What we'll do is we'll write a formula or a DAX for a measure. We'll just say total revenue equals to, we'll use the calculate function. And for the expression, we want to do sum of our amount from revenue table. That's what we want to sum, right? That is our expected output. So be easy until here. And what we want to do after this is use a TREATAS function In that way, it can filter out those customer associated with the segment. So we'll say traits values, and from the customer segment bridge table, we'll take the customer ID. That's what we want to filter. And from the revenue table, also we want to filter the customer ID. So this is the relationship we're defining from customer segment bridge to the revenue. In that way, we are telling Power BI explicitly that, hey, even if you have many to one relationship in one way filter direction, filter those customer IDs in bridge table and revenue fact table based on the segment. Now, once we have this measure applied, let's see how it works in real time. Now let me drag and drop here. This is what we need. If you look at the value, this is what we expected. Even if the filter direction is one way from one to many, we explicitly wrote a measure to get what we desire. Now, if we change the filter to both, it will work in both ways. But if you change this back to single, that's the preferred way. Just use it whenever you can. In that way, your model performs fast and is performing as you expected. So wherever you can, use the single directional filtering using DAX. And if you cannot, and if you are aware of the issue with the bidirectional filtering and the many-to-many relationship, you can use that as well. But that would be my least preferred method. So that was all for today. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing and like and comment. And let me know what other contents you might want in the future. With that, see you in the next video. Thank you.